Podcast number 2 for the Gingamob Incident development podcast starring... Who are you, Ryan? Your name's Ryan.
I'm Ryan. I am the project lead. You met me last time.
There you go.
I'm Shannon. I'm waving. I don't know why.
Yeah, perfect for radio.
Yeah. I'm lead programmer. This is my first time on the podcast.
Yes.
I love how we do face cam things for a non-face cam kind of.
You know.
I gesticulate.
Yeah. Okay, so... Well, this time around, we're going to be discussing, I guess we're kind of going to be going back in time.
Yeah.
A little trip down memory lane to look through our old stuff and kind of go over the process of how much this game has changed since its first pitch. Every game has...
To a simpler time.
Back to a simpler
Back when we were
time.
innocent.
Back when we were just trying to make a thief knockoff.
Yeah.
Me. I came in with that thief
You.
knockoff pitch.
I wanted to do a thing where you were facing a...
What was your original pitch?
My original pitch was, it was still VR, because I was like, we are doing VR. I spent all of 5 months learning this. We're going to do it.
Okay. Well, I don't remember what
it was a spin-off of the one I was working on that you saw, the spaceship.
Oh,
but basically, it was you're a girl on a spaceship, and you're facing like these weird shadow things, and you find out that the colony that was on there isn't technically dead. It was just a...
That's fine.
So it's phone this one off. That's professional. But you find out that the people, like those things that were trying to kill you, are just the human colonists, but they were evolved. Like human...
Okay.
The human DNA evolved and they became like a new type of species.
So essentially totally different from what we're doing now.
Yeah.
Still kept smoky people.
Yeah, I guess that's the link between...
And still
that
stealth.
Pitch.
It was a stealth game.
Yeah.
Still kept it as a stealth game.
We liked that, but I think the consensus at the time was all of the art you had for that at the time wasn't your own, and we'd have to make our own, and we didn't have an environment artist at the time, so we were a little nervous
like
to do anything of that like high PBR caliber.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Just a quick thing, I am sick this week, so don't worry if you hear some coughs, that's probably me.
Yeah, he's just dying. It's fine. But yeah,
the inside and the outside.
Originally, so this project started out as we had 3 different pitches for 3 totally different games.
I have all 3 pitches right here.
We have all 3 pitches right here. Okay, let's just go through them and see what this game could have possibly been.
Well, technically, this game wasn't...
This game is not, at this point, this game is still not any of the 3 pitches.
This wasn't the one that was even greenlit.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that.
This was pitch 3. Pitch 2 got greenlit, and we had a fight for pitch 3, which is this one. So pitch 1 was Ding, which is actually a game Shannon was already working on.
All of Shannon's
that
creation.
we put on here because it already had a foundation to it, and we kind of didn't think enough to make a 3rd game, so we were just like, "Wait, you're Shannon's."
Yeah.
Just talk a little bit about Ding real quick.
Yeah, Ding I made in Studio One, and that was like my 10-week just by myself making a prototype, and it's like a collection puzzle. It's like kind of like Banjo-Kazooie-ish with like cooking, like like really minor like crafting cooking elements. It's like
Didn't you play as like an ancient Chinese bowl?
Yeah, like a bronze cauldron that's called a ding, and you go through like ancient China and you cook food in yourself and you make meals for people that make them happy, and that's how you add goodness to the world through food.
That sounds dope as hell.
Yeah, it's like Cooking Mama plus like Banjo-Kazooie or something.
Man, yeah, I remember seeing the art you did.
Yeah.
It was already looking really adorable.
Yeah, but
the art eventually became the Gingamob Incident for like a good 4 weeks.
Yeah.
This was our art side.
Yeah, the thing about Ding that made it into the final game, I mean, it's being phased out now, but I'm not much of an artist, so I used vertex painting on all of my assets in the game, just painting directly onto the geometry of the models to avoid having to make textures and do UV unwrapping and stuff. And so we started doing that for, when we didn't do Ding, we started doing that for the Gingamob Incident for the entire first phase of its production, because we didn't have any environment artists on the team. So
still don't.
We still don't, but like
we've made do.
We've
we
figured
just
out how
found
to
a
texture.
hidden talent that I guess I had that I didn't know I had.
Yeah, we do. We've recently shifted from vertex painting to fully textured environments, and Ryan's doing a lot of the majority and or all of the texturing, which is very interesting because he's not an artist by trade.
Our generalist is actually gonna make the metal like actual metal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's because I was like,
metalness
I don't really.
But yeah, that was Ding. Ding gave us like the first original art inspiration, which was a very simplified, like strong, like flat colors.
Also, there was no way in living hell I was going to allow us to do this game.
What do you mean? What? Ding?
There's a reason why I would not let us do Ding.
Why?
We wanted a season system.
That's right.
Where the seasons would change and people would remember what you did for them throughout the seasons.
Yeah, because I had done a lot of work for Ding. The entire movement system was there, but I didn't have anything in terms of a functioning like level environment. We'd have to make NPCs. We'd have to make a changing level with a lot of assets for 4 different seasons, and it would require some very intensive design for the vision that we were working on. Like
also, the coding is just like.
Yeah, the coding it'd be heavy on interactions and very like context based events, and that would just be too much to take care of. It's easier to have things that are a little bit more applicable to multiple situations.
And then
what was the second pitch?
The second pitch was the one that was originally chosen for us.
Okay.
And that was because when we were asked which one we wanted, we played dumb. And we were like, I don't know. We can do any of them. Spoiler alert, we wanted 3, but we didn't want to act like jackasses.
Context for this, the professor, we were supposed to pitch 3 ideas, and then he would greenlight one of them, and that's what we would work on for the next 10 weeks, and then the next 10 weeks after that, which is what we're in right now, the second group of 10 weeks. Yeah, it ended up being 6 weeks.
Because of a hurricane.
That blew us all out of town, fucked up the whole quarter system. But, so we were pitching these 3 ideas, and then we all kind of had settled on the third one as what we were going to do, but we just didn't. But when the moment came, the professor asked us, okay, which one do you want to do? For some reason, we all looked at each other, and we were all just like,
I don't think any of us. Well, so context to the story. We were a group of randos.
Yeah.
Which is just a randomly generated group. We were in a class.
We were randomly generated.
We were randomly generated.
Procedurally generated.
I don't think we wanted to offend each other.
Yeah.
Or try to step on each other's toes.
I think that was a big part of it. I didn't want to break out anybody else's idea. I didn't want to be that dick. I was like, this is mine. That's the worst.
Well, also the problem is that when we started our third, the original Gingamob incident, which is not very much like it is now, it was the least popular on pitch because
it was the most basic.
It had the most flaws too. That in terms of early criticisms, it took a lot from other games.
Oh yeah. No doubt.
It had a lot of difficulties. It was the only. It had a lot of complex systems that we weren't totally familiar with.
Yeah, it was like a system-based game, and we were not ready for that.
Stealth VR. At the time we didn't really know what we were gonna do. I think it was we were talking about grappling hooks.
Oh, I have it. I have this
stuff.
one.
Yeah, no, a grappling hook was a big part of it.
I'm saving this one for the last.
Okay.
It's because this is the third pitch we made for this game. There were still 2 preliminary pitches before we made the third one.
Let's talk about the second one, which was by far the one that people were pushing towards when we were first doing this.
And I would have
I actually totally forgot. I was trying to think what that second pitch was, and I just remember what it was. It was the storybook.
Pageturner.
It's a storybook, and at the same time, I was like, if we can somehow, somewhere down the line, either make this game or put this as a mini game in our game, I'm still totally in for making this.
Yeah,
because this was a really an original idea.
Pageturner was something I genesised on my own while everyone was at home trying to figure out what we could do for VR for our final pitch. And I thought of something like a pop-up book where you just you're still and you have hands and you just turn the pages of a book, and then there's a character at the start of each page who's the hero of the story, and you have to figure out how to get him from one page to the next and clear obstacles in his way and manipulate the pages. And
sounds fucking awesome.
As it went on, we got really into generating ideas for this, but then right before pitches, we kind of started to think about implementation, and that was when you came along and you told me that you had figured out half the systems already for
the
Gingamob incidents requirements, and then that's when we realized that we didn't have any of that sort of backup or documentation for the stuff we wanted to do for Pageturner, And so,
Just would have been
which would have been like
much more.
like continuous like loading on in front of the player without like any clunky pop-ins or lagging or anything.
Be able to go back to previous pages.
Yeah,
possibly,
yeah.
all kinds of interactions.
Yeah, like not traditional like level loading, but loading assets in and out in particular places and locations on the thing depending on what page you were on. And I wasn't very familiar with that. I'm still not. So we decided that there was more documentation for what we were doing with Gingamob.
Yeah. And this was the one
Went with the
that
easy
was
idea,
chosen.
basically.
It was voted on by everyone else who looked at it. And
What,
they were like,
Pageturner?
do Pageturner.
Okay, yeah.
And we were like, we had to go at the end and be like, we don't want to do Pageturner.
And he was like, oh, okay. Well, I don't care.
He was more like, you guys gonna need to have to make this way more original.
Yeah.
Because right now this is really boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just
And
straight thief.
This one wasn't straight thief.
No.
Because this was the third pitch. The third pitch we turned into Bioshock.
Okay.
So
That's true.
here we go. Because now that we're done with those two, we're gonna start with the actual genesis
Of the Gingamob.
of the Gingamob, which was named the Messenger for a very long time.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. It was originally called the Messenger.
Messenger.
For like 10 weeks. We only recently got the Gingamob incident as a name, like the past like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just tentatively called the Messenger up until that point.
So
Yeah.
originally, Charlie came in with a pitch, and he said, "I've been playing Thief, and I'm thinking of this game. It's like a '90s video game." And that's what we went off of. It's gonna look like a '90s video game.
That was
Let's
a big.
just make Thief.
That was a big
And you
turn-off.
start in on a boat towards a castle, and I was
This
just,
is not Dishonored, I swear.
and I sat there like,
Dishonored
okay,
was
this
a big
sounds like
criticism.
Dishonored.
Yeah, it,
Oh,
it,
that
it
was a big criticism.
Yeah, because it was
So
Dishonored Thief.
after we got
Yeah.
past that, and we were like, Charlie, that sounds too much like Thief. We were like, someone else was like, oh, I have this game idea about vampires, and we were
Yeah.
like, vampire
For
Thief.
20 minutes we incorporated vampires. So we had
Yeah.
original, and then which was a Thief knockoff. Then we had the vampires, and then we went to like drugs.
Okay, so
and
now
a drug cult.
drugs is where this came in. So basically, I actually have the synopsis right in front of me for this one. You play as the Messenger, the legendarily. That is not proper English. The legendary lethal enforcer of. I am not saying that name.
Earhart's.
Earhart's Tonics and Solutions. That's right, it was a tonic game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very Bioshock.
As the right hand of the manufacturer of the world's foremost sense-heightening super elixirs, you must track down the original creator of the tonics, who has broken off from the operations for reasons unbeknownst to us. So basically, you were literally just the messenger. You're kind of like a drugged-up scientific experiment person.
Yeah,
that
with
is like
superpowers.
with
Yeah.
superpowers that you keep and you kind of like do his bidding for him. The abilities at the time were very repetitive. Time distortion, invisibility, teleportation, and stun bombs.
Kind of all do
They're
relatively
all
the same thing.
And then semi-non-linear level design, which
Yes,
We
kind of
still kept?
stayed.
we still kept. So after this, they were like, sounds too much like Bioshock, sounds too much like Dishonored,
Uh-huh.
change it.
Yeah.
Then, that night, Charlie and I went home. We made 2 different pitches.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
at the end of the day, both of these pitches were good in their own way.
Didn't they kind of both get incorporated into the story?
I
I don't really remember what yours was.
We incorporated all of my abilities.
Okay.
Which was abolishment, invisibility. Like, that's where we
Okay.
got all of those from.
Yeah, it was like reality shifting.
No, so mine was, you basically officially get killed at the beginning.
Okay.
And some sort of
Yes,
Egyptian goddess
Yeah.
reanimates you. But the thing is, since you're reanimated,
You have to work for
reality and like reality itself is trying to correct itself, so you die.
Oh, okay.
So every time, so like reality would intentionally try to kill you in the game, and every time you would die, you wouldn't technically die. The goddess would shift reality, so you were back to life.
That's interesting.
And she
very
was,
interesting.
and her whole thing was she wanted to get rid of like this kind of people of bad in the world,
Okay.
and those types of gods weren't allowed to actually physically manifest and do things themselves. So
Okay.
you kind of became her messenger. in a
Okay.
sense.
It's because we were trying to both incorporate the title into the
Messenger.
plot.
Yeah.
There we go.
And then-
While
Working
working around a
backwards.
title.
Yeah.
And you,
And what was
You
yours
were
was
black
Black
magic.
Magic.
okay?
Yeah. You were like
You remember?
you were.
I
you're-
don't remember my
So,
own pitch.
Okay,
at the beginning, you got
Yeah.
the letter.
Oh yeah, you get the letter
Invited.
from the, yeah. Okay, so yeah, it's like it's kind of, you can kind of see the remnants in it a little bit.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But like yeah, so you start in you start in a main menu, kind of like our main menu already, but it's like your own house. And there's a letter on the table that you got. You're a practicing magician, and then you get a letter from this guy called the Messenger that's like known by all the wizards as this guy who like he's the best of the best, and he only trains the best of the best. So if you get invited to the Messenger's place, people aren't really seen again after that, but it's assumed they become the best of the best and shit. But the whole story is basically just you going there and you find out that the Messenger is actually not a human, but it's like some entity that's like actually like inside of this house, and like it was complicated.
Yeah,
The house was living.
The house
Yeah.
was living.
the house basically was the Messenger, and it was like this entity that had like installed itself in this old castle, and it was like growing.
It
like
broke its our dimension. And
Yeah,
kinda
like-
took.
yeah.
I think the implication there was like that the guy was like he was too hard on the black magic, and it started to like take
Yes.
over him and then take over the house, and
And
so
the thing was
it's
like,
constantly looking for new hosts.
Yeah.
and if you can get to
yeah.
him, you would be
Yeah.
allowed. To,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Be his new host.
Right.
Yeah, once you get to the center, that's like you proving yourself as the new host.
Right.
And then it ends like a Twilight Zone episode with you being the new host.
And,
Almost
Exactly.
like-
and that's the plot we went with for a while.
well, yeah, quite a
But
while.
do you remember why we changed it?
I do remember it was because of Mamias' comment. He said that he needed a tutorial, and so we should have a master.
No,
Our
that wasn't it.
guy should have a master.
Wasn't it?
That was,
What was it?
Must have been a part of it. Because I
It
remember,
wasn't.
I remember Mamias'
I actually
criticism
thought
was
about
really
it.
important.
And I remember why we had to go back to the drawing board and
Well,
change this
I
entire
remember it was
game.
just because we wanted a tonal shift. Most
That was
people,
true too.
most
We
people-
needed a tonal shift for one other reason.
What?
Initially, our game had gestures.
Oh.
So, our thing was that if you're a master,
Yeah.
you can use gestures. But the minute you have to throw stuff on the floor, how we do now with the potions,
Yeah.
how is an all magical master
He just has to throw
cannot
potions.
use potions?
Yeah, like,
cannot use
okay.
magical abilities. So we had to go back to the drawing board and be like, now shit's getting...
Yeah.
change
I think it was a
all of
combination
this.
of all of those
It
factors.
was.
It was like
Yeah.
all of those in a perfect storm of like we just have to change this
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, because we were
We were
going
dark.
into it.
Oh, yeah, it was
dark
Well,
for
we
a long
started
time.
really dark, but because of our art style, which was again flat colors, very simplified, like heavy polygons, everyone thought it looked too funny, and
Yeah,
no one
exactly.
took it very seriously when they played.
Well, it's also because we had a sword at the time, and that sword
yeah, we had the
killed
sword.
any sense of like
we had the
seriousness.
initial ghosts with their AI running around, but everyone just like it was a very lighthearted atmosphere when people played.
Yeah.
So we had to rewrite it, and then we ended up doing our final
Okay,
thing.
week 8 is when we said, "Oh, we have to get rid of gestures. We have to rewrite this story."
Right.
Yeah.
We had 2 weeks to do this.
So just real quick, the game originally ran off like our main central mechanic was gestures. With
using the VR, using
Yeah.
the Vive handsets, you would draw gestures in the air that were like symbols
And it'd
that
be
be
a magical
interpreted,
abilities.
and they would cause a spell. And we had it working pretty much
for
fine,
a while.
but
We had memory dump problems in the EXEs, and it would cause the game to crash.
yeah,
games
so
kept
we had to we couldn't figure it out because there was no documentation.
And
It
we
was
spent
just
a week trying to fix it. Like that was
Yeah.
a wasted week.
yeah, it was a huge time sink, and we decided,
Just had to
okay,
cut
just
it.
scrap it, and then we turned all the powers from the gestures just became potions that were left around the level that you'd have to pick up and throw.
So that goes back to what left our game.
Yeah.
Our
So, but-
sword.
Okay, yeah, and this is kind of the last like where we've kind of almost covered at this point everything
Oh,
that
yeah,
has
the
been
sword.
cut. Like it's crazy to think about. Almost everything in our game was not a part of the original pitch. Almost every single aspect
Except
of
for
it.
patrolling enemies.
Except for patrolling enemies in a castle.
Teleporting.
Like teleporting.
Teleporting.
Just because that always
yeah.
had to be there for
Necessary.
Oh,
VR.
dude. Because I
Necessary
wasn't
to the
allowed
movement
walking.
system.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't want people to get sick. But yeah, okay, so we had the tone, which was the tone and story was totally different. It was heavy and gritty and like a Twilight Zone episode, but it was still wacky looking, so it was ridiculous. We had
Yeah.
what did we just talk about?
Gestures.
Gestures.
Gestures,
Our core
our-
mechanic totally changed.
We had a fireball at one time, like an actual fireball.
We never actually put that in. It never
It
happened.
was in. It just broke at the last second.
Really?
And we were like, "Screw it, no fireball."
But okay, and yeah, in the final installation, the thing that in initial testing people were using the most is a sword.
Yeah, a spawnable sword.
Oh dear God!
So
how much
you-
that professor hated that sword.
Yeah,
He
our,
really
our,
hated it.
our professor hated the sword because, okay, so you would spawn in the sword with a spell. It would pop in for about 30 seconds, so it wouldn't
Not
be too
always.
over.
That
Yeah.
happened towards the end.
Yeah,
Initially,
yeah.
they were hidden around the house.
Yeah. But the problem with this sword was that when you picked it up, it would just go fucking crazy. It was just
It would. If we go back to our videos,
No,
it definitely did.
I know it would, but that was a problem of it. Like it would, like many physics objects, if you get near a wall while you're holding it, it starts to freak out.
Mm-hmm.
But
Going through
but that
doorways.
wasn't what was really wrong with it. What was wrong with it was that it was
It broke the balance
it was a
of the game.
one-hit kill
Yep.
item, and you could only spawn it, and you'd only have it for 30 seconds before it poof went back to the ethereal
That
whatever
was
it
late
came
in
from.
development also, because remember for a
yeah.
long time it never went away. You can literally walk around with the sword, period.
That was a limit we put to try. We kept trying to find ways to make the sword work,
Less
the sword
OP.
work, and every time
The
it
last
was
time-
just it just ended up being it's not going to work.
The
so we
last
just
time it was
Yep.
a 2-minute video, and Charlie had to go to the restroom. And he
Well, what,
got-
like while we were recording, you mean?
No, like you went out during the presentation because I was the only
Oh.
one that had to be up there, and you went to the restroom, and he goes, "Why is the sword still in there? I told you to get rid of it." And I was just like,
It's like, oh, God.
and then literally right after that, he called break, and I'm like, Charlie, we really go outside, and I'm like, we have to get rid of the sword. He hates it. But there was a silver lining to all of this,
What?
which was for everything we changed, something always
Something great.
was kept,
Was-
or
Yeah.
something
Filled the
new
void.
was presented that
yeah,
definitely changed it.
yeah.
And if it's not going to change from here to its final form, you know it's not doing it right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Iteration, if I've learned anything over the course of this production, it's that iteration in game development is like the thing.
Yeah.
Like it will not be the same as it started, no
Oh,
matter
initially,
what.
We never thought we were going to be texturing right now.
Yeah, like
We were
all.
like vert painting.
Yeah.
Painting. He was like changing. We were like, no.
Yeah, we were trying to steamroll ahead with that vertex painting. But okay,
Yeah.
wait, real quick. I guess just in summation, we're hitting about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, some shit numbers, minutes. In
Yay.
summation, basically, everything changed.
Yeah.
More
Magic,
things changed,
the
the
only
more they
things-
actually stayed the same.
The constants were magic house.
That's about it?
Yeah.
Monster.
Magic house.
Yeah,
Magic House.
Yeah, from the original pitch to
The
right
Haunted
now.
Mansion.
Well, in conclusion,
We can go on forever.
yeah,
we
we
really could.
could go on for
Oh.
fucking hours.
Global Game Jam
Yes.
is this weekend,
Yes.
and we are going to be taking 2 days out of our
Production.
development schedule.
Yep.
And we're going to be competing. So over the weekend, stay tuned for
Yeah.
the video. Maybe some extra notes on development of it.
We will be back very soon for a third podcast talking about other stuff. We don't
Probably
really.
more into because at that time the game will be more deep into its remastering process.
Yeah.
So we can talk more about our new characters.
Yeah.
And
our
how
new world.
yeah, just the big strides we'll be
everything.
taking in
Right.
the coming weeks.
Right.
How hard it is to basically remaster a game
Yeah.
for people who don't think it's that hard.
Yeah, putting
Yeah.
it together back from the ground up, basically. Well, until then, I guess everybody just say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.
Goodbye.